Okay, hello everybody. Slightly Slanted Sleuth. Today I'm joined with Phil Langdon again, and we're going to talk about the purpose for our existence and why we are here on this planet and what's it all for. You know, without further ado, Phil, why don't you tell us a little about you?
All right. Hi, it's me again. My name's Phil. I'm from I'm from London. I'm illuminated for 5 years now, and me and Steve talk about it a lot as often as possible. So welcome. It's very nice to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Phil. And I don't know if my picture looks a little too foolish here, but it was the last minute I come up with this one, and I didn't realize they were looking down on me. So I'm not trying to be the son being baptized or anything. I'm just being a little silly, I guess. So yeah, we're going to talk about Phil wanted to read something last time I was interviewing him, and he was talking about uh, a reading from a book called The Initiation, right?
Yeah, Initiation. I think it's backwards. I'm sorry about that. It's by Elizabeth H.
It's only backwards to you, Phil. It's like the mirror.
Right,
You know
right.
I mean?
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Before we move on, I wanted to show you this just real quick.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll just wait for you. We'll finish with what you got to say there, so we don't get sidetracked. Okay.
Okay.
Because we always get sidetracked, and I don't want that to happen.
Okay, just to let everybody know, this book is available for free as a free PDF download online. Just type in Initiation by Elizabeth H, H-A-I-C-H, and you'll get a free copy of this book. I simply have a physical copy that was sent to me by a really great person in America. She really wanted me to see it, and I'm so glad she did, because I can't believe my eyes when I read some of the things in this book. I'm just absolutely staggered. It is totally confirmed the contents of my own book, and it basically sums up my book in 2 paragraphs. The purpose of the book, not the full contents, but the purpose of it. So let me read you just a couple of paragraphs that just sums everything up. Okay.
Sounds good.
So here we go. A return to the paradisical divine unity, to God, is only possible through the spiritualization of the matter, that is, through the transformation of matter into spirit. Notice, if we come into life, we as spirits literally become the body, as it were. But then, because we've become physical, we need to become spiritual again. So ascension is about becoming spiritual again from the physical. But matter all by itself could never become spirit without spiritual help. That's why one aspect of God comes down into matter, clothes itself in matter, assumes material characteristics, and animates it as the self in order to make possible its spiritualization, its salvation. The effect which this self in the center of every creature has constantly exerted on the innermost structure of matter throughout aeons and aeons of time has led to the development of the forms of life existing on each rung of the ladder of creation. That's the kingdoms, basically. Thus, each creature has come into being from the simple protozoa up to the highest manifestation. And here's the key paragraph that finishes it. The highest creature on earth is mankind, human beings. It is their task to carry out the completion of the spiritualization of the earth, a task at which all living creatures are at work, each within the limits of its own particular stage of development. And every human being who transforms himself from a being identical with the body into a being reawakened in spirit, a divine being, identifying his consciousness with the divine self, that's the true self, which is God, has fulfilled his duty. He has spiritualized a bit of the earth. He has advanced by one step the salvation of the earth. Then he can cooperate as a helper in the salvation of other beings. Do you see the thing at the end there? You can cooperate in the salvation of other beings. You've asked before, well, what do you get out of illumination? You know, is life better? Blah, blah, blah. What's it for? Et cetera, et cetera. And here you're hearing about, that you're going to be working for other people and helping them be saved. So what's so great about being saved? Well, would you prefer to be happy or not? There's a very simple question. This is about your happiness at the end of the day. That's all it is. Are you happy or not? It's that simple. True happiness is when you find truth.
Right.
Because you're no longer lost. My experience in life personally, when I don't know something, I don't feel comfortable about that. I want to know about things. I want to understand things. And when I understand them, I stop thinking about them. So I'm happy about that. So now think, how many things in life are there to understand? Well, if you get to the pinnacle, which is the creator, which is ascension, that your understanding is exponentially increased all round. And you learn things much faster than before. So you achieve a sense of understanding and inner contentment, if you like, if you're very curious, because I am curious as a person, personally. Some people aren't. So you find this incredible sense of satisfaction and completion in yourself, so that you no longer feel like you're scrambling for things and you're a victim of life. You're no longer a victim of life. You're a player, as it were. You're now going to make things happen. And because your heart and your mind are realigned with the true self, the things you're going to make happen are automatically going to be good and beneficial for everybody else, because love knows no bounds. It's not selfish at all, love, not at all. So yeah, all I want to do is help everybody else get there as well. And I'm not perfect. Don't think I'm sitting here thinking I'm perfect, but I'm not. I'm now learning about divine masculine, divine feminine, the inner issues that are the spiritualized version of what we might think of as psychology. So that's where I'm going at the moment, personally, because I don't know enough about that. I don't know enough about their language. I'm also watching somebody called Greg Braden. You may have heard of him.
Oh yeah, I got a copyright strike and got my channel demonetized because of posting a video of his. And he actually called up YouTube, or sent him a letter saying that I was using his material. And all I was doing was promoting it. I don't make money at this.
Oh my God. That's a bit sad. That actually reminds me a bit of Stan Tenen at the Meru Foundation, who took Randolph Winters, I think it was. No, was it Randolph Winters? I can't remember his name, actually. I think that's the Billy Meyer thing. I can't remember his name. There's somebody else promoting the kind of stuff that the Meru Foundation have. I think his surname was Winters. I can't remember exactly. It's been quite a while now. But Stan Tenen took him to task in court, saying that the phi spiral actually needs a twist at the end to make it correct. Dan Winters?
Dan
maybe?
Winters, that sounds familiar. Yep.
Dan Winters. He was saying that something different. He was showing just a pure phi spiral, and technically that's not correct. There's a technical issue with the type of spiral that they're both talking about, and Stan Tenen gets it right, but Dan Winters, if that's his name, I think it's Dan Winters, made a few little mistakes. Lovely guy, but yeah. He took him to task over it, and I didn't really agree with that personally. There's no need to be like that.
Right.
It wouldn't bother me if somebody used my stuff online. I just don't care. I don't care really. Right. It doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, you're saying Greg Braden. I saw something today that he was promoting about the fact that there are sort of brain type neuron cells in the heart, and that if you connect your heart with your brain, you get a super neural network. And if you compare that to the creator, the idea is that you can now create a great life for yourself and good things around you. Well, if you associate that with the creator, who is the light of the mind, that is the creator itself. He is a mind, as it were, and the cosmos is his heart, or his heartbeat. The cosmic cycle is his heartbeat. You've got the heart and the mind there together, generating all sorts of fantastic things.
And technically, those are the Adam and Eve or the two keys to heaven, right?
That's right. That's right. Different ways of looking at it. You can call them the keys to heaven. You can call them Adam and Eve as well. Adam's the secret of the brain. Eve's the secret of the heart. That's right.
Or the seed and the cosmic egg and the light. or right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. There's many, many different associations with it. Yeah, yeah. Or a boat and a fish, you know?
Yeah, or Jesus walking on water
She's walking on water.
is
You
the
could,
light in the
yeah,
abyss, or the
that's
light.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Basically,
yeah.
yeah, that's right. Walking on the stormy ocean with all his friends in a boat, and they can't believe he's walking on the water. Then he steps into a boat. But that's a metaphor for the creator in the abyss, who has his foot in the cosmos, as it were. The cosmos is the boat, and the
Yes.
cosmos is Noah's Ark, really. It's where all the information is, as it were. But then the creator
Essentially,
is.
that's what we are, is the ark, right?
You could say that, yeah. We are a repository of all the cosmic information in one go. Yeah, you could call us an ark as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well spotted.
Well, I only have you to thank for that, because I'd be lost at this point. The Ankh, and that's just it. Is that the the way humans, how we like the term Anunnaki, or the term fallen angel.
Mm,
And in my interpretation now, because of meeting you, is that we are the fallen until we become Anunnaki through the great work, right? Isn't that
yeah,
pretty much what it is?
basically, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And I was on the whole Nibiru thing, and it was before I even met you that I started realizing that, hey, there's something more to this, and it's something deeper, way deeper. And it was like right when I needed you to come around and give me the clues, it was like boom, it happened, and I was like, wow, this is real. you know so yeah, it's amazing how our environment comes full circle and speaks to us and guides us if we're intent in it. And is that how
Yeah.
you found your journey progressed? Did you find the same instances in life where you needed it? I think you just described one last week, actually, right? With
Right.
that,
I mean, yeah. Mostly for me, I felt like I was, let's say you want to meet someone who has a certain skill, but you don't know anybody who has that skill. You're stuck now having to wait until you meet somebody with that skill. There was a lot of that when I was doing the great work. So when I found something out, and I could establish an anchor of truth. So right, I've got that. I understand that. It makes sense. Now I know that's true. Now I need to move on and look at this, but I don't know where to get the information. Oh man, it could take 3 years just to find a single snippet of information, which is you have to realize that I was doing this with no internet. Yet there was no
yeah,
internet at the time,
that must have
really.
been, yeah,
Yeah.
grueling.
So I had to go to local libraries and use my imagination somewhat and try and piece things together. I actually spent hours and hours and hours contemplating, figuring things out for myself because I literally couldn't get the information. See, so I think that the great work can be very much speeded up for people in this day and age now in 2020. We got the internet, we got a lot of clued up people online now that I've noticed. They know what they're talking about. There's a lot of people who are fluffing it, like 90% are fluffing their way through this material, but 10% really know their stuff. And things speed up as well. The more you find out, the quicker you get to the result, the quicker you get to the end. So the great work for me is like a pyramid. At the base of the pyramid, it's very fat and wide. So it's like things take a long time to get going, but as they get closer to the top, it seems to speed up all the time, and you get faster and faster. So I'm meeting more and more people now online who are what I would consider to be relevant people. I met one yesterday for the first time who is one of the angels that have incarnated on Earth. It's a lady called Jessie, and she lives with, or she knows and spends time with her twin flame. They have no problem. They're together. It's a fascinating thing to see, I instantly recognized her as an incarnated angel. There was no question. It's just instantaneous recognition. The stuff
Right
that
before
comes
we did
out.
this, I seen your comments on Facebook, and you just going back and forth with her, and I could
Yeah,
see there was a connection there between you guys.
absolutely. And the stuff that comes out of her is just like, oh my God, where does that come from? It's just
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. I've never heard anyone talk like that on these subjects, the angelic thing like
Yep.
that. My goodness me, I'm shocked and just absolutely amazed by what comes out of this one person. You know, so yeah,
Right.
wow.
Daddy Matt is asking something about the Bible. I don't know if he's asking a question, but Thoth wants to know. Miles wants to know. He has a question about the eye symbolism, and why the eye is everywhere, and is our left eye have to do with the evil side, and does our right eye have to do with the good side? I mean, is there a distinction between the left and the right as far as our eyes are concerned?
I don't know the specific distinction for the eyes, but I can tell you that with your hands, you receive on the left and give on the right, if that's correct. It's the idea of Ganesh, the elephant god. So he takes and gives at the same time. It's like giving and receiving. So there's reciprocity, there's movement, yeah, interaction, as it were. So there's a standard interpretation that says you receive on the left and give on the right. You can apply that to the eyes if you want that kind of principle. So why is the eye? Why are these symbols all over the place in the world? Right. So that takes us into advertising and the idea of visual manipulation. Yeah. Visual attractiveness. The most attractive thing to your eye, it seems, is black, white, and red. When you see something that's black, white, and red, your subconscious is saying, that's really important. Look, it's really important. You see?
It's the Chicago Bulls.
It's automatic response. You will automatically look at black, white, and red. I do. I get caught by it all the time. You know? If they want you to associate with something, personally, they'll use yellow, red, and blue. Yellow is the mind, red is the heart, and blue is the body. These are the three gunas, or three aspects of being that are highlighted in Hinduism. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about them. And they represent three different paths you can take to your own enlightenment. So yellow, red, and blue is very much a thing where if they want you to associate with their product, they'll use yellow, red, and blue. And you will feel at home with that product because it's got those colors in it. I've tested this for the last 5 years, and it's true. I see it all the time on our TV, all the time.
So why are you making that associated with the eye symbolism?
Right. So it's the same kind of thing. So what are you here for? Well, what I've just read out in the book Initiation is telling you that you need to spiritualize yourself. And when you spiritualize yourself, you expand from your third eye. So the third eye is the focus of spiritualization. So they'll use the eye as a way of saying there's several different things you can get from it. You can see that what they're saying is it's also a way of saying, look at this, it's important for a start. See, because that's the most important thing, effectively, if that's what you're here for. It's used in association to suggest that something is very magical and powerful. So it's often used to suggest power. Notice it's always shown in a triangle. So what you've got there is God thrice great with the Son of God as the eye. That is the totality of reality. And it's also the tetrahedron that we find in the Tree of Life, which represents the totality of reality. Which I explained.
That's how they built why they built the pyramid in Giza. And because that symbolizes the same thing, right? How Osiris is in the middle of the triangle and pouring out the top with the light beam,
Right. The Great Pyramid is the pineal gland of the Earth in terms of pyramids and location. It's at the center of all the world's land masses. So it's at the center. It's axis mundi, basically. It's a 0 point, the reference point from which everything springs forth. And therefore, it will contain all the information that is relevant to us on the planet, like the days of the year, like a book or a library in stone, full of information. What was I going to say? Yeah, the sense of authority is also inculcated when you see the triangle with the eye. What they're saying is this is authority, and it is, in a way. It's a symbol of authority, of great authority, like royalty or the judge in court wears black, white, and red. Guards of royalty wear black, white, and red. Anyone associated with royalty is wearing black, white, and red. Go and have a look, see for yourself. It is everywhere in association with them. I was staggered when I came up with black, white, and red by myself. I couldn't believe how many times I saw it, and it's confirmed outside of me. I thought, my God, I got that right. I thought I was just making that up. You know, no, I'm not. It is absolutely true. It's black, white, and red with a little touch of gold here and there, like gold trim or a gold badge or something, because gold associates with the light as well, the Son of God. See?
Yep.
So that you don't have to think, well, if they're wearing black, white, and red, it means this is important. But if you're looking at a beefeater, which is a guard at the Tower of London, they wear black, white, and red with touches of gold as well.
Why
but
did you call them a beefeater?
They're called beefeaters.
The guards
specifically. Yeah, the guards at the Tower of London in London. Yeah, they're called beefeaters. Wow. Yeah, I can't remember what it is, why they're called that, but they wear black, white, and red with gold. And you can see if they're just a guard in the Tower of London, they're not advertising anything, they're not selling anything. You see, so it doesn't mean they're saying this is important, come here and we are authority. They are saying we are authority, but they're not saying we want your money. When it's used in adverts, it's to grab your attention, to sell you something. So it's a technique to grab your attention. You know, that's all. The two laws of advertising is grab the attention, give them the message, tell them their life will be better with this product. That's it. That's advertising in a nutshell, you know?
Yeah,
So
do you think it's purposefully done, or do you think it's just inherently done because it's something inside them knows that they'll get the best result from that?
Right. It depends how and where and when it's being used and what for. So people at a concert, when they do this, you know, and this sort of thing, it's just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. It's a sort of way of saying, hey, we're all cool. We're all in on this joke, or we're all in on this idea, you know.
What about the eye and the triangle on the dollar bill?
Right. That is the great work. Well, the pyramid is the great work.
Yes. It
represents the great work. Notice there's a separation between the eye and the triangle at the top of the pyramid, between it and the pyramid.
Yes.
So if you turn that on its side, you've got the triangle on the left and the pyramid on the right. So the pyramid now represents the light, and the triangle is you looking at the light in the scenario when you're right in front of it. Yeah?
Yep.
You see that?
I'm following you. Yep, right in front of it.
Right. So when the pyramid is shown in a normal sense and you've got the little triangle above it, you're looking at a representation of the great work. There, that's what that represents. And when you achieve the result of the great work, you are elevated above the physical level. So there's a separation between the triangle and the pyramid. But when you turn it on its side, you've got the cosmic relationship, which is you looking at the light. At the moment,
just like Sirius looks at Orion.
Yeah.
Right.
Same
thing.
Exactly the same. It's always the same commemoration, and you can take that as the mind and the heart as well. Adam and Eve. It's
or
exactly
sun and
the
moon.
same. Yeah, sun and moon. It's the yin yang relationship that exists. Yeah.
Forgive me for a second.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
bud.
That's right.
Well, I'm doing a show. Sorry, I sent you a message. Oh, I'm sorry. Why? What's up? All right, I love you. All right, I love you too. Bye. Sorry about that, guys.
That's
sorry.
Is that your boy?
My boy and my wife. My wife is calling because she's on her way home, and it's no coincidence. She gets home almost every day at 3:33.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. She's born on Halloween. Her mom's born on Halloween.
Right. Wow.
Her mom's married to a guy named Steve.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, my life's just a bunch of weird coincidences like that. I guess
just about to
nothing's
say
a
that.
coincidence though.
Yeah.
But I totally understand what that symbolism means, and that's thanks to you, of course. But I'm wondering, what I was asking is, do you think it's on there purposefully knowing what it is? The persons who designed the dollar bill, did they put it on there knowing what it is?
Absolutely. No question.
Then why is it that everything that is good is venerated as evil or bad, like the Freemasons and the Friday the 13th thing and all the above.
Uh-huh. Well, if you want to keep power, you have to keep people confused.
So why put it there in the first place?
Well, it's a symbol of truth and authority, which is true and correct, and yet it can be interpreted in evil ways, because the creator can be interpreted as the best thing there is, i.e. the Son of God, and the worst thing there is, i.e. the devil, at the same time.
The
This
crook and
is
the flail.
very difficult for a regular thinking person to get their head around how one thing can be two opposite things at the same time. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different elevated state, as it were, where there is no right and wrong anymore. There is simply perspective. See?
Yep.
I don't know whether you've heard yogis saying there is no right and wrong, but of course,
Oh, yeah.
rationally, you can say, well, hang on a minute. If you shoot somebody, that's wrong. If you
Right.
love somebody, that's right. Yeah,
Right.
well, that's fine. But all they're going to do is create karma for themselves if they kill that person, and the person who's died is going to get help and a new foot up in life. You know, they're going to come back and they're going to have some benefits that they didn't have before. So it works out in the end quite well for them. But when a guru is saying there's no right and wrong, what they're saying is that everything simply is. It's just energy, you know, the transformation and motion of energy. So that's the sort of level they're talking about. They're not saying it's okay to shoot someone. They're not
Right.
talking
Like
about
temperatures on a thermometer. There's hot and there's cold, but they're
that.
on the
Yeah,
thermometer, the one thermometer, so they're the same. They're on the same thing, but they're
that's
just
right.
different magnitudes of the same thing, right?
Bingo. Different
Right.
degrees of the same thing. Yeah,
Yep.
like Hermes says. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's
Right.
correct. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So it
And
depends
then,
on context. It depends on context. Yeah.
of course, then somebody said something about the Bible being just strictly a science book. I don't
The
agree with
Bible.
that. A
The
science book.
Bible.
Yeah,
The
the Bible.
Bible.
Yep.
I wouldn't call it a science book, but everything in it is correct and true. It's unfortunately probably the most misinterpreted book on the planet, I would say. So when people argue about the Bible, I immediately think, oh God, here we go. I'm sorry, but none of you know what you're talking about. So you're arguing for nothing. You know,
You might want to check your laptop and see if it needs your P's.
It's cool. I've actually got the P's underneath it already.
You do. Mr. Menza had mentioned it before we even started. Get the P's ready. So, yeah.
Yeah. They're there. So I'm keeping
Right.
it cool already.
Cool.
It's actually quite warm, but it is staying cool underneath, so it's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
The irony that he used satanic symbols to keep the Christians from doing evil to him is pretty hilarious. What are you guys talking about? I'm just reading off of what heart of Freemasons is Gnosticism. Yeah. And do you find that just speaking to people in a religious, I don't know, because like the Son of God or the Son of Man, I never tied the two together until you clued me in on it. Now,
Yeah.
do you find that subject like it's like pulling teeth, right? I mean, how did I mean, it is like when you're trying to convince somebody that is so dead set on Jesus is coming to save you, and when you die, you'll see him, and and if you look into all the texts that you have to be alive when you see him for him to save you, right?
Right. Isn't it weird how the statements they use are actually true? So
Yes.
I go past a church every day on my way to work and back, and it says Jesus saves, right? And I look at that and I think, yeah, that's true, but you have no idea what that means. That's the problem. If only you knew that wasn't a person, you'd get it. Jesus saves you because it's your salvation when you find the light. That's all.
Right.
It's not a person who's hanging around waiting to save you and pull you out of a bad situation. You know, it's just not.
Well, I'd like your earlier interpretation of what Jesus is. He's not a thing. He's like my bag of peas. Do you want to worship my bag of peas?
Yeah. There's this misnomer that you have to worship the Son of God when it's a thing. It doesn't give a damn what you think. You know, it's not even thinking about it. It doesn't even think. It's just a constructed object, effectively.
Somebody wants to know, did any of the characters in the Bible exist? And, you know, what is the names in the Bible?
Right. So here's the thing. If you take the book or the story of Elijah, Elijah, that's a person. So Elijah, I reckon Elijah existed as a real person, and he wrote down effectively his own gospel. Because, I mean, any of the Old Testament books, some of them, not all of them, not Psalms and things like that, but some of them which talk about a person and his life and his effect, the effect God had on him and all this sort of thing, they're effectively gospels as well. Because a gospel is about the good news of reality, of the truth that exists, you know? Mm-hmm. So if you think of Elijah or Jonah, they didn't actually, Jonah was not actually thrown into the belly of a fish, or he wasn't thrown into the sea and then swallowed by a fish and then spat back out again. That's just a story to illustrate a concept. But it doesn't mean there wasn't anyone at the time who wrote the story to effectively, metaphorically talk about their ascension. So let's say Jonah was a real person. He might not want to write a diary of events of his life for you. I'm very literal, but that's me. I'm a Virgo. Other people, when they illuminate, they only want to talk in metaphorical terms, I notice. See, I want to do that as well, but I know that people are very literal in the West. So I bring it to a literal place for them so that they can grasp it in scientific terms, if you like, you know, the actual terms, and not a great big metaphorical swathing story. The problem with the metaphorical stories is that you end up taking someone who doesn't know what they're reading around this merry-go-round of what seems like a fairy tale, and they might end up thinking that it's all real. Either all real or all fairy tale, when in fact both might be true at the same time. So the person might actually have been a historical figure, but the story they've written about themselves has gone into metaphor. Yeah, to convey the depth. This is so deep. How do you convey the depth of it?
Right.
You use a metaphorical story to convey the depth. You know,
don't the names in the Bible convey a meaning of our path to God inside of us, our different aspects of desire, like the desire of Mary, John, you know, or the word Jerusalem in itself, or, you know,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, the abode of peace. I mean, even though these words in the Bible mean something anyway, they can still be the place that they're talking about and the person they're referring to as well. You can't have everything. It's not all black and white all the time. There's a lot of shades of gray in between there, you know. So when people argue over, well, did Jesus exist? I say he might have existed, but I couldn't care less. But a Christian listening to me say that, like in my video on Jesus, are gonna be completely dumbfounded, because Christianity is based on the resurrection of a real person who is supposed to be the Son of God. If you cancel that person's authority as the Son of God, you've destroyed the entire religion in their mind. But they don't realize that the Son of God is the pineal light. So all of a sudden, the context is different. So they have to get their heads around the context, the correct context. See, that's all.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that's why I was delighted for you to introduce me to Yvonne Gordon, because her interpretation of the Bible is pretty spot on as far as the aspects and the names and how they line up with our carnal way of thinking. And, you know, I don't know if she's actually seen the light or not, but she sure sounds like she has. You know, she's an awesome person. So
that is spiritual inspiration.
Yes.
I see from her. She's inspired by spirit, and spirit containing all information in itself. It has inspired her, has come to her and inspired her, because we need more people to talk online about these things correctly, because there's too much garbage going around.
Right. Right. I totally agree with that.
Just to let people know, there's a lot of things going on in the last few weeks and coming up in the next few weeks that are going to transform this planet. It's already underway. The 2nd of February saw an incredible influx of a different kind of vibration that I've never felt before. And that was genuine. You know, I thought that was just a made up nonsense. But when it came in on that day, when I came home, I noticed it really strongly. And there are things going on with certain star signs at the moment to harmonize people on the planet so that they don't have such a bad experience. See, one of the keys to sorting out the human experience is to have a better life, a better experience, a more harmonious, joyful experience. And that is being worked on in general all over the planet, I think. I see it in the media that there are different orientations in the media now. There's the LGBT issue, you know, to be more sensitive about people's wishes with themselves. Do you know what I mean? So 40 years ago, an LGBT community person would have been beaten to a pulp in the streets of London.
Right. Well,
now
the biggest coincidence I guess I've had recently was that movie, that Star is Born movie, where she's working in a transvestite bar, you know, as a singer, you know, and dressed up, and everybody else is dressed up as transvestites, as women, you know, and
right.
And you know, to be honest, I walked into that movie going like I'm being dragged there by my ear by my wife, you know. But I ended up loving that movie, man. And it was when you said, I asked you what that symbol was, the two goddesses, Nephthys and Isis. Remember that? And that was the symbol that came to mind right away when I saw her eyes. And I was like, why is that? So can you describe why I would make that connection in my mind? Is that our higher self talking through me or talking to me, or you know, because I remember, sorry if my questioning is going all over the place, but in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it states in there that the key is through the symbolism, you know. And do you think it's the more symbolism you study, the more that it'll ring true when you make the association? Or, you know, do you follow me what I'm asking you here?
Yeah, there's two different ways of thinking. That there's the brain psyche thinking, which is kind of ploddy, and then there's the insightful, inspired, spiritual thinking, which is very different. It is very different. It's a much elevated form. So if I describe from the spiritual thinking point of view, the issue of that symbol of the two goddesses with the Jed, the Ankh, and the arms holding the ball of the red ball, which is really lamb's blood, symbolically lamb's blood. You might think, well, that's a red moon or it's the sun. No, it's the red moon, this eclipse of sun, but it's really red because of lamb's blood. And even lamb's blood is a symbolic association to the light, because it looks like the body of a lamb that's bleeding. It's lifeblood out in all directions, which is the beams of light coming out of it. You know, see, there's different levels of symbolism there going on, all squashed together. And it's a spiritual thinking. It's a spiritual way of seeing things. I can interpret the two goddesses on either side as the two brain lobes, for instance, as well as female principles and a whole stream of other things. That's a spiritualization of that. But if you want
to, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's great. That's okay.
And it's funny that you brought up that Ankh with holding the red disc, because I found that led me to the 1/13/2020 alignment with the planets in the cross, remember? And it led me to that Aeon, what the Mithric god Aeon is, and you know, and it was another weird coincidence, I guess, or well, I guess nothing's coincidence, but
no.
But that just rings in, and which brings me to, is the age of Aquarius the age of discernment, or is this to do with the Aquarian age? You know?
Yeah. Aquarius is the man pouring out the water from the jug. So this is the age of an outpouring of information that has been kept in darkness for a long time, let's say. So now we on the planet at the moment are going to be finding out things that have been kept hidden for 6,000 years. That's already going on. That's already underway. You know?
Right. I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's ongoing. It's happening right now. That. the outpouring of information, the revealing of great secrets is coming out. There's no question that is happening right now, especially with the internet. There's all sorts of wise people on the internet pouring out their information for us just to view in our armchairs and our comfortable living rooms that we never had before.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it can be a blessing in disguise, or it can be detrimental too, though, right? I mean, because if you latch onto the wrong information, it's going to take you down a fork of a road that, you're going to find yourself way far on the wrong side, and you got to go back and figure out where you went wrong.
Right, but if you keep an open mind and
Right.
keep exploring and don't stop thinking, right, that's it, I've got it, I don't need to read anymore. No. That's when you have to read more and
Yes.
explore and challenge what you think you know. Then you can go further forward when you realize and make sure. It's the issue of making sure that the people I find can't be bothered with, because it's much easier just to think you've got it. And you don't have to make any more effort, because making effort is an effort. It's a bit tiring, and a lot of people just want things to be easy, especially when it's available on the internet just like that. It's all very easy to grab things and have things, so people can get into a mentality where they want things to be easy. So when you tell them, well, the great work takes about 20 years, they go, oh God, no. No, I don't want that. I want something that takes 5 minutes. Can you just give me your light so I don't have to bother? It's like that. No.
Right. Maybe that's why I latched onto you so quick, man. Because I like fast food, fast women, and fast enlightenment. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And
it does take time. It takes time to explore something so that you can get proper understanding on it. Sometimes things are faster and other things are slower. Everything's different in that sense.
yeah, and there's certain aspects of our personal journeys that I think hold us back, that we have to muddle through and accept and get over and address. And I think that's where I'm at in my journey, is my personal garbage that I have to get over or forgive, or just muddle through. And because I know I got the knowing, because thankfully from you, and I'm not worshiping you, bowing down or nothing. I'm just saying, like you said, if I'd be 18 years of, I'd still have 18 years to go, and I don't know if I'm going to live that long, as far as getting the knowing, because I know that it's an inner battle more than it is an outer. But you put the 2 and 2 together, you should come up with 4. And if you're not coming up with 4, it's you gotta just keep on muddling. But yeah.
I was just going to say very quickly, it only took me 20 years because I had no help.
Yes.
See, so with help, it'll take you even shorter. But it depends on your ability to use your mind to look at things and explore things. So I spent a long time developing my ability to visualize things and to think of things in my mind, and to actually build them in my mind and turn them around and look at them and compare them with something else. It's a lot quicker to make deep comparisons when you're thinking like that visually, instead of reading lines and words where you have to slowly build up a picture. Once you've done that, now you've got the picture. Now you can start doing things quickly. Yeah. So if I can give you those pictures better than, if you just sit down there for a year reading all sorts of stuff, and I can just give you those pictures in a few moments, you're going to have them, but hopefully to use for yourself. Right. Anyone talking to you about it, who knows about it, is going to speed you up.
Your understanding of it, and it'll lead you to more understanding, and more, and it builds on itself.
Yeah. Because if there was no one there to answer your questions or help you, you're going to have to answer those questions by yourself, and it can take you years to do that.
Exactly.
See? Years.
Exactly.
Depending on where you are and what information you have access to. What if you live it up in the mountains and you never come down, you never talk to anyone? It's down to you to look at nature and think, right, what can I learn from this then? What on earth am I doing here? What is all this? What clay have you got?
Yeah, go ahead. What did you just say?
What clay have you got?
Bingo. I was just going to ask you the very same thing.
Yeah,
The clay to pyramid concept, and you
yeah,
know, uh, and this pyramids, the pyramid could have been a pump, a resonant structure that created both sound and energy, light, and created. Why don't you touch on that for a minute?
yeah. That's a fascinating issue because it takes us straight to the creator and the idea of the creator being everything at once. The creator is effectively the entire cosmos as a singular object. All the information of the cosmos is contained in the creator by itself. Every aspect. So let's look at different subjects: psychology, science, religion. I don't know. What do you call that? Oh God, I'm losing track of words now. Different subjects, let's just say. All those subjects are contained in the one creator. So in the same sense, the Great Pyramid contains everything at once. Therefore, it is a machine, a power source. It is a symbolic representation of illumination. It is a repository and resource of all the information that human beings have gathered over how many thousands of years, contained in an object that would survive disaster and time, so that people on this planet would always have access to that information. See?
Right.
It outlived every.
I just watched a guy's video saying that it was Noah's Ark, and it is.
It is as well. It is as well. You can certainly associate the Ark with the pyramid as well, because it's a repository and a container of lots of information that's important. Yeah.
And the shape of man is also a pyramid or a tetrahedron, right?
You can say that if you sit with your legs crossed,
Yep.
yeah, and you put your hands on your knees, you are literally a tetrahedron.
Yep.
That's a tetrahedral frame, and your head stands above it as the sort of eye at the top of your tetrahedron.
That's beautiful.
Pyramid.
Yeah, the Ben stone, right?
The Ben stone. Yeah, that's right.
What is your take on that? Why is the Ben stone not on the pyramid, and what is the Ben stone?
Right, the Ben stone is a meteorite that is fashioned and turned into a capstone, and it's a meteorite, so it's a magnetic stone. It's also covered, I think they covered it in gold. So it's a point at which all the energy in the pyramid is now focused and powered up into the atmosphere, into the sky as a single beam. The same thing has been detected in the Bosnian pyramid. There's a single beam of energy coming out the top, going vertically up.
Bill, they shut us down. Hang on, I gotta find out. Hang on, our YouTube feed has been shut down.
Oh.
So hang on a second. Sorry.
Yeah.
Julian, did you shut the internet off? Julian, is the internet on? Okay, I'm gonna try to see what's going on here.
I'm getting YouTube up to see if we're on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Here we go.
We had 32 people watching too.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna stop the stream and start it again.
Okay, I'm gonna just line it says.
Okay, now it says we're live on YouTube. Let's see if we're live.
It's changing now.
Now, I got the buffer circle now too.
Yeah. An error says.
That is weird. Now I can talk on my chat with people.
Yeah.
Do you see the live chat on yours?
Yeah, I can see the live chat. Yeah.
And you're not hearing us talk, huh?
No, not from the computer, not from the live thing. How long did we get? It says
all live streams have been cut, I guess.
Wow. It says 49 minutes ago we started. So did we get about 45 minutes of talking on there, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was right till we started talking about the pyramids.
Mm. You
I'm
don't think
not
someone's,
associating that with it or what, but
yeah,
who knows?
you don't think someone's switched us off, do you, officially?
No, no, I think
Right.
it's somebody's mentioning that all live streams have been cut
Oh,
across the board.
oh, right.
So I don't know.
Okay. Maybe YouTube has an error or something, or they're doing some maintenance or something. Who knows?
Must be.
Around.
Yeah, tomorrow would work too, at around the same time anyway.
If you got time, of course.
Oh yeah. I got
Oh.
nothing but time in Minnesota when it's cold because I'm not working.
Right.
You know, all I do is play bowl and take care of the family, do housework.
Yeah. Right.
And my wife's upstairs going, "Yeah, right. You're doing housework." Be quiet up there. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. We'll do it tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Well, yeah, we'll do this tomorrow. So I'm
Sure.
gonna tell everybody here in chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is. I've never seen that before.
Neither have I.
Huh.
All right. Yeah. All right, Phil. Hey.
All right, dude.
We were doing pretty good too, I thought.
Yeah. Right. It was going well.
Yeah, it was.
That's
It
right.
always does, though.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at about 2:45. And I don't know, maybe
Okay.
put a little. I'll put a little. I don't know, question thing together so I'm not jumping all over the place.
Sure. Okay. That's okay. Yeah.
But I think we do pretty good, anyways.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
All right, thank you, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's all right, dude. Thank you so much, Steve. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Have a good one. Take care, man.
You too, brother. Bye.
Bye bye.